Friendly greetings, it's me, Torley Linden. I've come back from a super delicious vacation with my lovely wife Jennifer, and I'm here to bring you the Second Life tip of the week number 6. Woohoo, look at me run, run. And today I'm going to cover some extended inventory management tips. You may recall that I earlier did a video tutorial covering a lot of the basics, but some things are new and have changed since then. These are good to know. First up, do you know what coalesced objects are? If you don't worry. It just means combined objects. I prefer that simpler term anyway. Now, hey, you may have seen this before. I'll give you a very simple example. Click the inventory, and then I just click these little triangles to open it. And lost and found, I scroll down a bit, and you see this here, this object has a different icon than all the others. Instead of one cube, it's a bunch of little cubes. Oh, and hey, it's Jeremy. One moment, please. I'm going to say hi to him. Excuse me. Nice to see Jeremy here. And oh my gosh, look at that parrot and his typing animation. Yeah, have a good one. I was just chatting with him about these offices around here, these scenic parks and stuff like that. It was designed by Clear Ink. Really nice, our Linden World, sort of empire expands. Anywho, Jeremy, he does great work on our knowledge base, and he, of course, is familiar with these combined objects and sorts of stuff too. So I was just mentioning that in your inventory, when you see something like this, an object that has these little cubes, that's coalesced. And usually, if they're in your lost and found, that just means that they got returned to you from a parcel en masse. Like, if you have a bunch of objects left somewhere, they get sent back to you, they'll appear as a coalesced combined object instead of lots of individual ones, because it tends to be neater. However, I know the labeling could be clearer because it isn't immediately obvious that this is a whole bunch of stuff, which is why I'm here to show you this. However, you don't need to have objects returned to bundle up your own combined packages. Let me show you how you can do it on your own. As you can clearly see here, there are 2 chairs. I will right-click, I will edit it so it's selected, and it says 1 object. Now I will hold the Shift key and click the other, and it says 2 objects. Then I will right-click, and I will take these, and you will notice in a few moments they'll be in my inventory under the object. See, it's highlighted. I just took it, and it'll be called Library Chair because that's the name of the last selected object. Whatever you selected last, that will inherit the name and put it here. And you notice the icon is that of a combined object. This means that when I go to res, bring it into the world again, drag, drop, and release, it makes both of them appear. This is also really useful, for example, if you have objects that are too far apart that you don't want to link necessarily, or you might, but you want them to res in the same relative positions, so you don't have to reposition them after. So I got this, and let me see, I'll move this even further. Hope you can see that. Then I'll hold Shift and click the other chair. So now I got these 2 chairs selected again. Tools menu, link. You notice it says link failed, pieces too far apart. However, I can still right click and I can still take them, and my inventory, they'll show up at the top here. These are going to come up, and when I res them again, you notice they've maintained the relative positions as being further apart. So that's really handy to know. Alrighty then, so I've got another useful one for you. You may have noticed that on occasion, for example, I'll search for cart, on occasion when you go to check the properties of an object, it says creator unknown, and you're like, what the heck? How could that be? That's because in inventory, permissions and certain other things get collapsed and aggregated. If you want to see the details, you have to res it in world. You'll notice that with this particular cart, some different parts of it are made by different Lindens. So now it says creator Ben Linden. However, if I go in to check the content and I check the cart and I check the properties, it says the creator is Corey Linden. So if it has different creators within the contents and things like that, that's why it will show up. And I know it'd be more helpful in the future to show something else, but this is what we have at present, and this is just to help shed some light on the matter. And while we're at it, here's something else you should know, that when there's objects with restricted permissions, for example, this go-kart, I got this. This was a very nice gift. And I will create one of my own, this cube here. Notice when I create something, it has full permissions. But if I'm going to right-click, edit, and hold Shift, and then I'm going to take this as a combined object, And of course, it'll show the icon. It'll show the last name of the last object selected, which is the go-kart. It'll say no modify, no transfer. But it doesn't mean that the object that I just created, that little cube, is also no modify, no transfer. This is a simplified view. So to view all permissions, you have to, again, res it. Then I can see, okay, just this thing is no modify, no transfer, but my cube still retains my permissions. So you haven't lost any permissions. It's just you can't see everything when it's in inventory. But be careful where you res stuff, because sometimes you can't res things in a parcel. You're not allowed. And sometimes in sandboxes, it gets cluttery, and you can lose track of where you put your stuff. So it's nice to have a clear, wide open space for resing and checking your combined objects. Please remember that. Now, here's another question I frequently get asked by people sorting their inventories. They ask me, TuTORial, what's the difference between this a snapshot and this a texture? Well, for all functional purposes, they are the same. You double click, you get a picture. Hey, thanks, Jeremy. That was a nice one. You double click, you get a picture. This is my logo, whatever. And then you go to File menu and you'll notice in Show Filters, of course, they have different types here, or so it would seem. Here's the only difference. The difference is if it's a photo, a snapshot, that means it was uploaded from within Second Life when you go to Snapshot and you upload a snapshot. And for all the textures, these come from File menu, Upload Image. And I have a document, I prepared this a while ago, that explains this more in depth. So you can go and check it out if you'd like. Hope that helps explain that though. By the way, if you don't know how to independently select a range of items, here's how. It's just really useful because sometimes you might think, oh, I have to drag all these items in another folder, and you drag them one by one. And that sucks when you can just click the first one, hold down Shift, and click the last one of a range. See? And it selects all of them, and then you can drag and drop as you wish. I'm not going to actually do that because it kind of messed things up here. But you can also, if you hold down Control key on PC or Command on Mac, you can see, I'm holding it down, or you can't see, but I'm holding it down, and you can click individual items to select them, and see these are all selected. And again, I can drag and drop them when they're highlighted into other folders. That's a really good thing that I use a lot to put things into different folders and just get myself sorted out. But wait, there's more. A while ago, I know some residents, they're finding it hard to sort their folders because these system folders, which can't be moved, they always were appearing in mixed with other ones. So Kelly Linden, I believe it was, he changed it so that sort, and there's a new option, what was new back then, but system folders to top. And what that happens is when that is checked, you always have your system folders on top, no matter other folders that appear on that root hierarchy, as it's technically known. However, if you uncheck this, notice that you can make new folders on top, and I can name this, blah blah or whatever, and it just appears intermixed. But if you want to clean things up a bit, sort system folders to top, and all your user-created folders appear here on the bottom. Since the inventory window has its own set of menus, I'd encourage you to explore them. I do go into depth more about some of these things in my previous How to Manage Your Inventory video. But for now, I believe we're, as they say, out of time. So I'd like to thank you for accompanying me on the Second Life Tip of the Week. Will be next week, another tip for you, addressing the resident feedback I get. It's so lovely, so wonderful. Thanks for all the comments coming in, and I hope to see you again. Take care, and bye-bye for now.